About Pinot Noir,
Okay, I love
which
that.
is not that often that we do.
No.
No?
We
Because-
usually talk about it only in context of sparklings.
Yeah, that's right. So here we have a still Pinot Noir. We've had some very nice Pinot Noirs, but on sporadic occasions.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yes.
2005 stellar vintage.
Yes.
I believe 08,
Yep.
12, 14.
Yep.
And then...
And
the-
19.
And 19,
Yeah.
yeah, 19 also.
Yep.
But a lot of the time the fruit goes into sparkling wine. So we've had meandering Pinot story. But
Yes.
this one, 2024, is something completely different.
Yeah, so this is 100% from the Julia Vineyard,
Yeah.
which is another 3.5, 4 miles north of Magdalena. It's actually a fairly dry site. It sits up nicely on a little bench overlooking Seneca Lake. Really good soils, pretty high in pH. And we planted this during shutdown in 2020.
Yeah.
And the thought there was to include clones that we've been working with,
Yeah.
selections we've been working with, but also put in some selections that we've just started to work with from Standing Stone. And so this is now a blended block of 7 different selections of Pinot Noir on a site that I think is going to be really, really true to what Pinot Noir can be. here
Okay,
in
so,
Finger
so
Lakes.
this is a little bit of a third time charm. Herman tried here at HEW.
We've just moved
and
up
then
the
we
lake.
moved up the lake. And then we planted Magdalena. Now, those plants are no longer there, Magdalena.
Correct.
We planted Blaufränkisch and Cabernet Franc there now.
Correct.
And now we moved up to Julia with 50 years of experience
Behind
of clonal behind
Yes.
beyond clonal selection, how to plant. So this is our kind of our new take
Yes.
of Pinot Noir,
Yeah.
Julia. So this is exciting. I think now 2024 as a vintage was also a stellar vintage. So it's getting a good start.
that
it's,
helped.
it's like,
That helped.
It's tasting great, but it's like it's got a good start here with 2024.
Yeah, you know, it's interesting. It's not a very high vigor site, which is, you know, one of the points that you have to balance out in terms of the styles of wines, the varieties that you're growing. Magdalena is a much higher vigor site. And so I think from a varietal standpoint, I think the Julia site's going to work much better for Pinot Noir than Magdalena. And, you know, so as you said, we ripped out that Pinot that was planted in 1999 and 2000 by Herman. Those weren't very old vines.
No.
We ripped those out, noticing how well Cabernet Franc and Blaufränkisch have done on
That's it,
Magdalena.
yeah. So now you're kind of, Julia then, although further north, is a little more restrained. Getting, I don't know, want to maybe not compare to Old World and New World, but this is a little more restrained, sophisticated style. It got weight on the mid palate, but it also has some structure to it.
Yeah.
Does this see any oak?
Yeah, so I mean, from the winemaking side, I think this also takes on a lot of the ideas that we've been working with Pinot Noir and kind of gravitating towards. So this is 35% whole cluster, which, you know, our older Pinot Noirs had no whole cluster in it. They were just crushed and destemmed. So this is 35% whole cluster, starting with some pump over and then finishing with punch down. And
So
then,
you're extracting a little more flavors. Is that what you do when you say punch down? And
yeah, and
pump
also
over?
softening and rounding out the mid palate just a
Okay.
little bit. After pressing, we go right into wood.
Okay.
Yep.
Hand-picked, hand-sorted, this vintage 2024 was a very dry vintage, but with timely rain. So
Yes.
there's a maturity into it, a ripeness to it, which
There
you
is.
might, which not only is site-specific, this is also vintage-specific.
Right, and we've also seen this consistency now into the 2025 vintage.
Okay.
And so that's, I think, I'm hoping that is what we're going to see off of this site, a
Okay.
consistency in Pinot Noir that we haven't seen from other sites. I think there's a complexity on the mid palate that we haven't seen from other Pinots that we've made. And for young plants, there's depth to it. A lot of times with young plants, you get a lot of poppy upfront fruit and not a lot of depth on the mid palate. And this, I think one reason we really thought that we should bottle this and show this even on young plants is because of that depth.
Yeah, this is a promising wine. Now, maybe a little bit on the geeky side, the clone selection.
Right.
Yeah.
So most of the clonal selections are Burgundian. So Dijon clone 667, 777, 115. And then we're looking at some older plant material that's been widely propagated in Oregon, Wädenswil, which is actually a Swiss selection,
Okay.
and then Pommard, which is also a Burgundian clone. Those are actually older plant materials that have been in the U.S. for a very long time.
Okay.
Then there's one selection that has a really kind of storied past that I only know half the story on.
Something Herman told you?
Something Herman told me. So
Oh,
therefore, I will. It is a selection that Herman started grafting in the early 90s, and I don't know exactly where the plant material came from. However, it's showing to be of extremely high quality.
Okay.
Yes.
So there you go, end it there.
So we'll end it there.
Yeah. Great, but this is delicious. Excited to have Pinot back on track.
Mm-hmm.
Great. Well done. Well, cheers on you to you, my
Cheers.
friend. Thank you. Thank
Yeah.
you.